What's up, fam? Today we're going to be doing a way too early tier list of all the teams based on their offseason so far. This is not going to include rookie signings, but it's going to be re-signings, additions, and people that have left. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. So I have like a tracker here of everything that's happened. So I'm just going to go in order they give me, which is probably just a alphabetic order. Okay, so Atlanta Hawks, they have not re-signed anybody. They have added Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. and they departed with AJ Griffin and DeJounte Murray. This is like a D tier trade for me. The only reason it's not an F is as long as they got Dyson Daniels back, which is like something promising. Can I get rid of these ads? But yeah, they haven't. This is a D tier. The fact that they got Dyson Daniels, I think they got a couple of draft picks back, which I can check. But that's the only reason why this is not like an F tier trade. Like they got 2025 via 2025 pick via Lakers, and then 2027 Bucks Pelicans pick. So maybe this is definitely a D because they lost AJ Griffin for no reason. Okay. Boston Celtics, they've stayed pretty neutral. So I'm gonna say it's like a B. They just re-signed all their most important players, which is Jason Tatum and Derek White, which is really important. So I'm saying it's a B. It's not like an awful. It's only so much they can do as a championship team. Who's probably sorry. There's only so much they can do as a championship team. But the fact that they re-signed Jason Tatum and Derek White is like a B tier. Brooklyn Nets, like low key S. They got the main thing was they got their draft pick back, but they just got a lot of draft picks back for a lot of draft picks back for the trade with Mikal Bridges, and they still have Bojan Bogdanovic to trade. Bojan Bogdanovic. Charlotte Hornets. They've had a low key off season. They've not re-signed anyone. They've added Josh Green and Reggie Jackson, and they haven't lost anybody. So I'm gonna say that's like the same tier as Boston. They're not in the same competition level, but for what Charlotte wants, and no one's going to Charlotte, and what they can only do with these scraps that are left from like previous championship teams or previous competing teams makes sense. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I thought this said Miami Heat, and I was so confused. Chicago Bulls. I also might put them in B tier. They actually no. Wait, this is gonna go C tier. So they re-signed Patrick Williams. They got Josh Giddey and Jalen Smith, and they've lost Alex Caruso and Andre Drummond. If I'm counting just for the offseason, this is I don't know. No, this is low key D tier offseason. Just because they lost Alex Caruso for basically nothing. They lost Andre Drummond for nothing. Patrick Williams is okay. They got Patrick Williams back and Jalen Smith, but Josh Giddey is basically nothing. Yeah. I'll give the Cleveland Cavaliers a C tier just because they got Donovan Mitchell back. So once again, this is a way too early tier list, and they still haven't made a decision with Evan Mobley and even Davion Mitchell. No, Darius Garland. So we'll see. Okay, this one I'm gonna put Mavericks. I think is gonna go A. Yes, they did lose Derrick Jones Jr. as their POA. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Josh Green, but you gain back Clay, you gain Quentin Grimes, which is like it's a win-win situation. And when you get Quentin Grimes, because if he plays good, it helps you guys out. If he plays bad, just don't play him. And then Najee Marshall was a dog, so yeah. Next is gonna be the Denver Nuggets, who are a big. They are a big loser in this draft. I mean, in this offseason. To be fair, there's not really much they can do because of their cap space situation. Traded away Reggie Jackson for draft picks. They just let KCP go. It's kind of not their fault. the NBA is screwing them over for having a well-built team. It is what it is. Detroit has had a low-key good. Um, do they have? I mean, I'd say they have had a positive. They've had a positive offseason. They got Cade. They re-signed Cade. They've got Tim Hardaway Jr. Wait, who they? I didn't realize. Oh, they traded for Quentin Grimes. Yes. So they got. I actually forgot about that. They got Tim Hardaway Jr., who's a shooter, which they need. Tobias Harris can shoot, and Wendell Moore Jr. And they lost Quentin Grimes and James Wiseman for it. I think that is pretty good. And now we're gonna get our first F tier offseason, which is the Golden State Warriors. They got DeAnthony Melton. They added Kyle Anderson, and they lost Chris Paul and Klay Thompson. Chris Paul, it was an unfortunate situation because no one wanted him, and they couldn't find any trade partners for him. So, unfortunately, they couldn't get any value back from him. Klay Thompson, yes, it was a sign and trade, but let's see what they got back. They got back. I think it was like two second round picks. Okay, so Dallas is sending the 2031 second round pick. All right, Golden State is receiving two second round picks to compete the Klay Thompson sign and trade Dallas 23-21. Yep. So they get two second round picks. That is really bad for one of your best franchise players of all time. And I know Klay Thompson was on the decline. He had a pretty bad season he just had a pretty bad season. Oh man. Man, that was bad. Man, that was bad. Houston Rockets. I say Houston Rockets haven't done anything. Which I don't know. I don't know how to judge that if that's a bad thing or a good thing. Because Golden State lost stuff. You guys all lost stuff. I say I put them with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I might boot up the Cleveland Cavaliers to a B just because they re-signed Don. But because the Houston Rockets, they need more. What they still on the Kevin Durant chase, which unfortunately for Phoenix, Kevin Durant's not gonna. Sorry, unfortunately for Houston, I don't think Kevin Durant's leaving. They didn't get Chris Paul. They didn't get who else? They didn't get Paul George. So they didn't really get any of the people that were rumored to get. So that's why I say I wouldn't say that's still an L though, because I guess they still have their team intact. Like they haven't lost anybody. They added AJ Griffin, which is I'd say is a benefit. So I'd say C tier is pretty good. All right, Indiana Pacers. They brought back Pascal. They brought back Obi. They brought in James Wiseman, and they lost Jalen Smith. I say I put them exactly the same as Oh, if I'm gonna give no, I say this is C tier. I know I gave Donovan Mitchell a B tier for coming back, but Pascal is kind of like a tier below that, where she's still important, but it's still good that he came back. Sorry, but it's not as impactful as Cleveland Cavaliers or like the Detroit Pistons. I might move Hornets down here, man. I guess this makes more sense. Yeah, it makes more sense. Clippers. Oh, Clippers. I might not put. Am I going to put them? I'm going to put them in D tier. The only reason they're not F is they kept James Harden, but some of the decisions they've made are questionable. Like, okay, they don't have it here, but I feel like they picked up a couple of But yeah, they didn't add some of their side. I started Clippers added some like players off the free agency, but maybe I'm tripping. Either way, they kept Nicholas Batum. Excuse me. Sorry, they brought back Nicholas. Wait, what? Okay, I guess they brought back Nicholas Batum. They're signing. They re-signed James Harden, and they lost Paul George and Mason Plumlee, but Paul George was the main one here. Unfortunate, but Paul George was going to leave because they couldn't find a contract agreement. But yeah, Lakers. Lakers are F tier. So why I have them on F tier and not D tier with the Clippers is their plan has not gone. You know what? I think Clippers are moving down here. Yes, they re-signed James Harden. Yeah, I say this man. Yeah, yes, they re-signed James Harden, but it wasn't. It wasn't all that. Like they still lost a lot more than they gained. And the Lakers, other than their successful draft night, they haven't done anything in the offseason. They wanted to go for Trae Young, they haven't done it yet. They could have got Paul George. They didn't go for Paul George. They could have went for Chris Paul. They didn't get Chris Paul. They didn't even pick him up on the waiver wire. So yeah, I say they would be on the same tier as the Clippers. Memphis, you've literally done nothing other than draft. So I say C tier, like I don't know, maybe even D tier. Like you've literally done nothing, but they weren't expected to do anything. So it's kind of hard to judge those 17. Miami Heat, they're definitely. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Memphis up here, and Miami Heat are definitely losers. They've not really done much other than gain Alex Burks, which is a good role player. But Miami Heat is a winning culture, and they haven't done anything. Really, all I can say about the Miami Heat. Stop shouting me at. Milwaukee Bucks, another loser of this draft, man. They got Torian Prince and Delon. Actually, they got Torian Prince and Delon right, so I won't put them in the F tier. Those are two positive role players for their team. They have a backup PG and a starting small forward. I don't really know how their lineup is. Yeah, like there's not really much else I can say about that. They haven't shipped anybody. Like they haven't talked. There hasn't been any trade rumors with Cash Money Chris. Dame and Giannis are gonna have another year together, which is a bonus, but that's not offseason related. Yeah. Hey. Minnesota. I'm only giving them a B tier because one of the reasons is because of the draft. They did lose Kyle Anderson, but I don't think that's as huge as some people might think it is. Kyle Anderson was great defensively. He had one good game in the playoffs. Otherwise, he's just a liability offensively. People just leave him open. They signed Joe Ingles and we signed Luca Garza, I guess. But actually, no, that's kind of they've kind of they. I think the big thing is they signed Joe Ingles, which is a positive 3-point shooter compared to Kyle Anderson. He doesn't bring that same defensive energy or defensive impact. But Pelicans, I might just because of their addition to. Actually, no. Okay, if they gained just DeJounte Murray, I think I would have put that in A tier. But they lost like four bench pieces between Dyson Daniels, Najee Marshall, Larry Nance Jr., and Jonas. So they need to find players to pick up. But I mean, I guess if they trade Bi, they'll find more bench players. Is fine if they do trade them. If they don't, I think they'll still be fine. But they lost four key bench pieces. But if you gain a really good point guard, I guess it's worth it at the end of the day. I say it's worth it at the end of the day. Yeah, so I'll just keep them at the B tier. I'll see if I might want to change that around, but I think that's in line of with what the other guys did. I low key might move Boston up top just because they brought back everybody, but it's okay. The first S tier, New York Knicks easily. They brought back OG, they brought in Mikel. They really only lost. I mean, Isaiah Hardenstein is a big loss for them, but they really had no space to sign him anyway. So I think there's not much you can do with that. Kel Bridges is such a huge impact to this team. OG such a huge impact to this team. Bojan didn't really play. Alex Burks didn't really play. Isaiah Hardenstein, they do need a backup center now. Julius Randle is coming back, so maybe if they find something to trade for Julius Randle, like maybe another backup center or starting center, Mitchell Robinson's still like a backup center, would be nice. But yeah. All right, the next S tier, so back to back S tiers is the OKC Thunder. They brought back Isaiah Joe. They brought back Aaron Wiggins. They brought in Alex Caruso, and they brought in Isaiah Hardenstein. And they really only lost Josh Giddey, which Josh Giddey was your worst player during the playoffs, 100%. They just let him open. He was defensive liability. He brought that defensive liability, switched to Alex Caruso, which is one of the best two-way players in the league. Isaiah Hartenstein is one of the best centers, one of the best starter centers in the league. Isaiah Joe played really well for y'all. Aaron Wiggins played really bad for y'all. You got them on 4-year and 5-year deals. OKC Thunder is good, man. They're good for a long time. So, hey, Orlando Magic. They're going to be an A tier as well. They brought back Olga Badasi, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Wagner. They brought in KCP and lost Joe Ingles, which I think that's an amazing trade off. If you're gonna bring in KCP and lose Joe Ingles, I'll take that every single day of the week. Hey, Philadelphia 76ers. This is low key an S tier because they didn't really lose much. Yes, they still have to find ways to work around their role players. They still have a lot of positions to fill up. But bringing back Tyrese, bringing back Kelly, bringing back Andre Drummond, bringing in Paul George, and bringing Eric Gordon, like that's three role players. Sorry, two role players with Eric Gordon and Andre Drummond that are going to impact your team right away. And then PG is your third best player on your team. Could be sometimes he's going to be your second best. And you're only really losing Nicholas Batum and Anthony Melton. I'll take that every day of the week. So that's the next S tier. Phoenix Suns. Ooh, stinky. I only reason I'm not gonna put them in F tier. You know what? That it's F tier. These guys have not had the best. They literally brought back players. They brought in Monte Morris and Mason Plumlee, which is whatever I say. Eric Gordon and Drew Eubanks were two of their best role players on their team, and they lost them. You know, it is what it is. Portland did absolutely nothing. They brought in Denny Avdija. Denny Avdija. I know how to pronounce his name. I just forgot Denny. They brought in Denny, which is a plus. They got rid of Malcolm Brogdon's contract, which is also a plus. So maybe they're a B tier team. I think that works that way. Sacramento Kings, their biggest W was bringing back Malik Monk because people were scared that he's not going to come back. They brought him back. Alex Len is still somehow on this team for like the past 25 years. So I'd say the same. Actually, yeah, same as. No, I'm going to bring Portland down. I'm going to say, yeah, B tier sounds wrong. San Antonio. Oh, this is like 8. Their offseason not done. So maybe I'll put them as the same thing as Sacramento. They brought in Chris Paul, which is going to be amazing for Wemby. Me, Toronto Raptors, I put the same thing as the Spurs. They brought back their two stars and Scotty quickly, and quickly started maybe. They brought in Davion Mitchell, which is amazing. They really only lost Jalen McDaniels, which I don't think they really played much last year. I'll take it. Oh, Chris Dunn stands with the Clippers. Okay, did I not talk about that? All right, Utah Jazz, probably the same as Portland. They didn't really do much this offseason. So, and then Washington Wizards, they surprisingly had a good offseason. They bought in Malcolm Brogdon and Jonas Valanciunas, which are two positive role players. So, yeah, that's a B tier. And yeah, that's it. Let me see if I'm gonna change anything around. I think I might move Washington down 1. Yeah, I just talked about them. Nah, I'll go leave Washington there. And I say this is about right. This is about right. So if you guys have any problems with this list, just let me know in the comments.